Hello traders, I have a nice 2R one and done trade that I took this morning. I'm going to show you that in just a moment. If you're new here, we're trading small cap stocks. We're testing a trading plan that I wrote specifically to trade small caps, which are notoriously volatile and unreliable, but also extremely popular to trade by new traders. So the idea is to have a plan in place that's easy to follow, that allows you to trade 100 trades or more without risking a large portion of your account, and is hopefully profitable. So far, it is profitable. I go over those results on an ongoing basis every Sunday. And first of all, I just want to say that discipline and being able to follow the plan 100% of the time is absolutely crucial. And even myself, I've developed quite a high threshold of discipline, trading discipline. But I've noticed over the past days, maybe a week or so, that my discipline is feeling, or it's feeling like I'm losing the grip on my trading discipline. So I obviously have to get to the bottom of that and figure out why. Well, I did. It's actually very simple. I realized what was going on last night and made some very minor changes, and I'll show you those right now. So if you're familiar with my trading plans, you know that in the past I've always had these daily reminders at the beginning of my trading plan. Well, ever since I've been trading this small cap trading plan, those reminders were just kind of buried in the mid cap plan. I built the small cap plan off of my mid cap plan that I was trading before. And I would just say kind of inside the small cap plan to follow all the rules and the reminders of the mid cap plan. Well, that's not good enough. You really do need to be reading these things every single day. Otherwise, they will kind of slip out of your subconscious, which is where they need to be ingrained into your subconscious. They need to be automatic so that you don't have to think about it. You just know, you react on instinct in every single trade. And then at the end of the trade day, whether you were red or green, you always feel good because you know that you did exactly what you were supposed to according to your plan. And you have been reminded every single day what is important and what really matters when you're in the trade. And it's not about being red or green. It's always about sticking to the plan 100% of the time. So that's a little aside, but I just wanted to bring that up because that's extremely important. And it's something that was affecting my trading, or was going to be affecting my trading very quickly if I did not get to the bottom of it. So anyway, let's take a look at the screener, and then I'll show you the trade that I took this morning. So this is my small cap screener. Normally it looks like this. You're going to click these three little dots and click modify. Otherwise, the filters of your screener will not be applied. That's extremely important. And then I organize the list by volume. I'm looking for the stocks that are trading with the highest volume. Right at the open, I want to see 500,000 shares or more. So you can see that it's a little bit later in the day, and it takes a little while for these things to build up. So there's only usually a few stocks that I'm watching, and they also must have a percent change of 5% or greater. Then there's some very specific chart criteria that's written into the plan that must be met, otherwise it cannot take the trades. So let's take a look at the video now, and you'll see what I was watching and why. Okay, so here's PUBM. That was on the screener, but it was kind of one of those sideways movers. It did have a little bit of a ramp up. If the stocks just gap up out of nowhere and trade sideways in the pre or after market, then I generally don't watch them at all. But this one had a little bit of a ramp up, and it was also trading down at the open, so it would have had to really come up and hit across this yellow line in order to meet my criteria. So that's why I kept it on the chart, but it never did that. Might have done it later, but I took a trade before that, and I'll show you that in just a moment. Here's CDE on the daily chart. You can see it's below the 200 moving average, so I can't watch that one no matter what it's doing during the day. That's all in the plan. And here's EXK. That was the one that I ended up taking the trade on. So you saw on the, let's see, on the daily chart, let's see where I checked it. There it is on the daily chart. So the 200 SMA, you can kind of see right here, it's buried behind these horizontal lines, but it's obviously trading above the 200 MA. It's at 543, the 200 MA, and we're trading around 559. So it meets that criteria. And now I just need to see if it broke out through the previous high, which it did. So it already meets criteria number 1. And now I need to mark out the first high of day, and that's what I'm doing right now. That's that second yellow line. And then the white line is going to mark out the second high of day. So that means that the first high of day was broken, and that kind of guarantees, at least in my mind and my plan, guarantees that there is buying strength in the stock, and that's something that I want to be a part of. So let's see what happened here. There was a few other stocks that I was checking out while I was waiting for this one to play out, but I definitely had my eyes on EXK because it was the closest one to giving me an entry signal. So it looks like it was starting to hit some resistance at that previous high, but it did break out only by 1 cent. And then I was kind of debating whether or not I was going to trade it, even though it met all my chart criteria. Here at the top, it was giving like 1 or 2 cent candles, and that's not really a worthwhile trade. But I figured that maybe as it pulls back, it will start giving out some larger red candles and then possibly a higher reward trade. So I didn't want to dismiss it, and I'm marking out where I think the stock is weak if the price comes down below this level. So now I'm just waiting for a pullback, and there you can see it is giving out some larger candles, which was what I was hoping for. So that means when I enter after one of these candles makes a new high, that there will be a decent amount of reward. So here I'm hovering over this candle. The high is 556, so I want to see 557 or better on this candle in order to get into the trade. So let's watch this price bubble right here. So there's 557, and you can see I triggered my hotkeys. I'm in the trade. The most important thing always is to get the stop loss in place, and then at that point I'm using my XR calculator to calculate my 2R profit target. And this calculator is pretty handy because you can put in any profit target you want, 2R, 3R, 4R, 0.5R, 1.9R, anything in there, and it'll spit out the profit target. So 567 was the 2R profit target. Obviously, and at these levels, I could have easily done that in my head, but it's just nice to get used to, get in the habit of using that calculator. That way, when you're in stocks that are trading at strange prices, you don't have to worry about making a mathematical error. You just pop those numbers into the calculator and it spits out the profit target. So now we're in the trade, and it's not, the main thing now is to just let the trade play out. I have all of my orders in place. I don't need to do anything. I just need to let the trade play out. There's only two possible outcomes. Either I get stopped out at -1R or my 2R profit target gets hit. So let's see what happens here. So it breaks out over that previous high. It's meeting some resistance. It's looking weak. Again, if I was a newer trader, if I was trying to judge this trade on the fly, I might get scared here. I might move my stop loss up or move my profit target down and turn a 2R trade into a 1R or half R trade, which is pretty much useless because the next time that I hold to my stop loss, I'm going to wipe out those gains entirely. So here, if this trade works out, it'll be a 2R gain, and then if I lose the next trade, that's only -1R. So that's how this risk management works. And that's why we're profitable so far, is because we're using this all or nothing risk management, and because we've been able to stick to the plan 100% of the time. So let's fast forward here and see what happens. So this thing, it looks kind of weak, like it's just kind of oscillating here around that 562, but now it's gapping up a little. So let's see what happens. No, pulling back. There we go. So then we get hit. Let me just show you that in real time. Here it is at 566. We only need 1 more cent. There's 567. So it bounced back up, and then we got filled exactly where we wanted to at 567. And this thing might have gone to 3R. That's something else that we're tracking. And at the end of this test, we're going to decide whether or not it makes more sense to hold to 3R. So far, it does, but we're just going to keep following the plan until the end of the test. Let's take a look at that EXK. So, yep, it looks like it did go to 3R. We can confirm that with the 2R calculator. So our entry price was 557. Our stop loss was 552. Can change this to a 3. So the 2R profit target was 567. If we change that to a 3, 572. So we would have gotten filled at a 3R profit target right around here. And obviously our stop loss was below this line, so it never hit that level, or it was at that line, and it never came down to that level. So anyway, that's just the power of following your plan 100% of the time, and the market aligning with your trading plan, which that doesn't always happen, and that's why we always use stop losses. So anyway, let me know if you have any questions about this trade or the plan or anything else, and I'll get back to you in the comment section below. As always, go into every single trade with a plan. Make sure your plan has daily reminders written on it and that you read those every day. Otherwise, they're useless and they're not going to help, and you're going to feel your discipline slipping away like I was. And make sure you're reading that thing every single day, even though it can be annoying sometimes. Always take your stop losses, honor your profit target, and in the long run, you should be green. Take care.